All right. Hi, everyone. It's been a while. We decided to restart our Founders Friday once again. And today we are fortunate to have Percy from Choco Up. Hi, Percy. You want to just introduce a bit about yourself?
Hi, Sam. Pleasure is mine. No, thank you for having me on your podcast. Yeah. So I'm Percy. Nice to meet everyone here. We started Choco Up because we were business owners before in the e-com space, direct to consumer brand in the SME sector, right? And financing has always been a problem for us, not just ourselves, but when you start doing your own business, you meet a lot of different people who are in the same industry, and a lot of these friends and people counterparts are facing the same issues. So we thought, hey, we're so many years in, why don't we try to help ourselves and help people around us? So we chanced upon RBF. It's not something new. It's been around in the West for a good 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And these counterparts in the West are unicorn status, most of them. So in Europe, in US, India has quite a few unicorn, and China recently there's another unicorn coming up. So we are focusing on Southeast Asia because I grew up in Singapore, right? So yeah, I want to, hopefully we can, by doing this, we can help people in the region. Yeah.
And are you hoping to be a unicorn someday too?
That is not why we do this.
Of course.
But if it takes us there, it's a bonus.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed that you actually you started your own business back in 2009.
Yeah.
That's been 14 years since then. And
14 years.
Businesses.
First started the e-com, trading, selling on platform when the whole, the whole digital economy started. But obviously, the first couple tries not going to work. So I went back to a corporate job, doing project management, save some money, and then came back out to do my own thing after a few years. Yeah.
I see. So you were in e-commerce. What else are you in? You were mentioning project management. Is it more like technology sector or?
No, project management back it was actually in China, just helping our company to invest in different projects, railroad, infrastructure, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I see. And then coming back out again. How does it feel to be entrepreneur once again?
A lot of, at different stages, right? So I'm, married with 2 kids. So right now, 10 years ago, no problem. But now I have to be a lot more cautious. Have to think through a few more steps. Every decision matters. Whereas 10 years ago, I just go with my gut feel, right? And yeah.
And I think the good thing is that nowadays the world is a little bit more connected through Zoom or through Teams, right? So you don't have to travel as much. But do you still travel a lot to the region, or you're based in Singapore?
So yeah, I'm in Hong Kong right now, but our headquarters of business is mostly in Southeast Asia and Singapore, right? I'm here currently fundraising, and also we have a team here as well. So so I travel between the 2 cities.
I see. Tell me how it works, for revenue-based financing for you guys. So are you the one that holds the funds and you invest, or are you a P2P at this moment?
No, we're definitely not P2P. Okay. It's not to say P2P is good or bad, but we're very different. So we sit right in between equity investor and a debt provider. We behave like we do behave like an equity investor, but we don't take any equity position. But we are also a debt product. However, a debt product is normally very structured. You pay a fixed principal and interest per month. However, our repayment is tied to your revenue growth, which means if you grow faster, you pay us back faster. If you hit a roadblock or something happen, right, during downtime, you don't pay us back as much. So that does not put a lot of pressure on the company's cash flow. So we win together with the company. And when you're going through a tough time, we do not force you to pay us back as much during that stretch as well. So we're more friendly in that sense. Yeah.
So you're more aligned to the objective. But one thing that I remember, some of your colleagues told me, It's actually more like a cash flow, kind of based financing rather than revenue-based financing. Is that correct?
Yeah. So for Choco Up, right, we are divided into two parts. We're not just RBF. The RBF is providing the growth capital for you to grow your business, and we get a repayment based on your revenue or cash flow in this case, right? However, a bigger part of what we do is after we provide the funding, we have a growth part. The growth part is because our target audience are e-commerce, digital direct to consumer, digital merchants, right? So we have a lot of analytics, we have a lot of data. So when we're plugging into all your data points, your sales channel, your payment gateway, your digital marketing, your ROAS, your accounting software, all this stuff, right? We can analyze your business for you because a lot of time a business owner or a merchant, you do not have time or the know-how into analyzing your own business. So we gave this right now as a value-added service to our client. Because like you said, the interest is aligned. If we can help them to grow faster, they pay us back faster.
Faster, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then of course you can roll from there and help them grow even faster with more funds.
Right. So I'll give you a specific example, right? If you're selling on your own Shopify store, there's a lot of analytics that we can provide you, like, hey, your conversion rate is so low, why? Then we kind of dive a little deeper. Your shopping cart abandonment rate, it's very high. And why is that? And the time spent on your page, blah, blah, blah. Then the user experience flow directly affects your revenue as well, right? Yeah. So we have all this data and tools to help you to improve. And that's the first one part of growth. And the second part of growth is a lot of e-commerce because it's borderless, right? So you need to go to another country. You want to do cross-border. You want to enter a new market. Our value chain partners can help you to set up, in core, set up bank accounts, marketing agencies that can help you, logistics fulfillment companies that's at your fingertip for you to use and deploy. So for us, it's a lot more than just providing the capital for you to grow. But after that, we have a customer success team and our growth suite solutions. That's value added. We don't charge you for that to help you to look at your business.
And that sounds like you providing financing as essential of this whole kind of value chain or ecosystem of things, financing along the way. But actually, what you're actually doing is that you're just a growth enabler for specific sectors like e-commerce being one of the major factors.
Yes.
But maybe let's just take a step back. I think one thing that we kind of jump the gun a lot is for some of the people who watch this podcast on this front. You might not know what exactly is revenue-based financing. We'll be talking a bit about RBF and how that works. Maybe you just want to explain a little bit for just specific to one particular group of people who are new to this, what exactly it is.
Okay, so revenue-based financing, right? The model is actually very straightforward. I'll use the traditional financing product as a comparison. Not to say who is good or who's bad. It's just different, right? So let's say a financial bank loan. Let's say if a bank gives you $100, you pay $9 as a principal and then $1 as an interest every month. Whether your business does well or doesn't do too well, right? On the other hand, for us, we're not based on an interest. We're based on a flat fee model. Meaning, if I give you $100, say we charge you a flat fee of 8%, so you owe us $108. But how long does it take for you to repay this $108? It depends on your monthly sales. So if January your sales is decent, right? Let's say you make $100 and we take the percentage, maybe 5%, maybe 10% of the sales of that month, the revenue of that month towards your payment of the $108 that you're supposed to give us back. Until this whole amount, 108, is being fulfilled. So it could be, a couple months or a year, and depends on how fast your business grows. So the interest is, so we have a common goal. We would like your business to grow so we can, get our repayment faster.
Definitely, yeah. The faster you get a repayment, your ROI on that is higher, and you can recycle your capital on other growth.
It's a good problem, right? When a business owner make more revenue, generate more, sales, they're happy. So it's a happy problem.
Right. But maybe I just put it in perspective itself. I do happen to know a contact of mine when they talk about revenue-based financing. What happens is that they were saying, what if I have a lot of revenue coming up and it means I can make repayment fast enough? So why do I ever take a loan? Because after I pay you back, I have nothing else from there. Because the loan period is so short. So, how do you respond to a person like this?
No, so we look at, okay, first of all, there's a couple of things. We look at it a bit more holistically. If your business really grow that fast and you repay us in a very, very short amount of time, number one, we're not a shark. We give a rebate.
Oh, you do?
A traditional financing a product, right? A traditional loan, if you repay earlier, they charge you an early repayment fee.
Correct.
We don't charge you any fee, plus we give you a rebate. That is something that we do. Okay, so we want to be more business owner, founder friendly in that sense. And number two, because a lot of this digital business, they're asset light. So they don't have collateral, they don't have assets, they don't have, a factory building or tons of inventory that can pledge to a bank or a traditional financier. And for us, we do not look at your asset. We look at your future business, your future receivables, as how we determine whether your business is good or not. So we're very different. Traditionally, look backward. For us, we look forward. So a lot of this new economy or digital business, they fall under this class, which it's a bit harder for a bank or traditional loan to do underwriting for them. And we come, and now we have this, so we have enough data points, we have a decent amount of clients and use cases, and we thought, hey, we do it in a much more fluid manner compared to a traditional financing route. Yeah.
Got it. But I presume that, in terms of the returns expected, because it's more, we are getting money from the private capital guys, right? Compared to the bank, probably borrow at a much cheaper rate. I presume your rate is probably a little bit higher. I presume that you guys also require some form of personal, kind of guarantee of sort. So, just out of curiosity, of course, the two of them are serving different groups of people. But in what circumstances would revenue-based financing be a lot more compelling to a founder or to a business owner? Is it a situation that they can't get a bank loan, or is it a situation that they choose not to? There's revenue-based financing comes out because of certain reasons.
Right. Okay. So, as a business owner, right, there's always different need for capital, whether it's your OPEX, your working capital, you want to build more business, you want to enter a new market. If you are selling clothes, you want to have more, SKU, you want to have a new colorway. Some R&D, we don't really, do too much about the R&D funding part, but you have a lot of usage, right? At different stages. So if you're early stage, you're a growth stage, you're a later stage, there's a lot of usage for capital. So when you have only this amount of money, you have to divide. You have to pick and choose. But for us, the RBF comes in handily to give you this extra pocket. So yes, we might not be like a bank where they give you a very, very favorable amount, but we're not expensive in the sense, because let's say our target audience, typical e-commerce, right? A product they sell, the gross margin profit is around 70%. At least 60-70%, that's standard, right? Some maybe even higher. So for us to give them more money to spend on ads, for us to give them money to purchase more inventory. So let's say we charge 10%, they still make extra money. So it's extra money for them to make extra revenue.
You provide them upfront capital cash flow to get rolling. And so you see it as a complementary thing rather than one or the other.
Yeah. So we come in with the intention of helping them to grow. And the money can come in fast, right? And a lot of e-commerce, now the double days, like double 2, double 3, double 4, double 5, double 10, double 11. Every month there'll be a campaign for online ad spend. This ad spend could be in the thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, as well. So we do provide that. So I'm not saying we are trying to provide financing for for everybody, for every industry. There are certain type of businesses that could really benefit from our product and service as well.
What are some of the most typical profiles of companies that work with you?
Direct to consumer brand. Yeah.
Sorry?
Direct to consumer brands, meaning they have their own brand. They sell mostly on their own Shopify store, Shopline, WooCommerce, Magento. Like they have their own brand. Doesn't mean that they don't sell on platforms like Amazon, Shopee, Lazada. They do as well. TikTok Shop as well, right? So we have quite a number of successful cases where we help them to grow from, say, 100,000 sales per month to 200, 300,000 sales per month. And eventually, so one of our clients got acquired by Love Bonito. After they use it's a use case. I think they're going to make some PR and announcement about that. And we work with a lot of brand aggregators in the region. That because the brand aggregators have a lot of mandate that they have to be of certain size before they acquire. So we work with some of their targeted audience that to help them to grow to a certain level, then the brand aggregator come and acquire them. So it's it's a win-win-win situation.
Yeah. Understand. And I presume that there also are certain kind of criteria where, say for example, as a foreigner and all you are in a venture-backed space and no one's going to take a judicious step in the banks itself. Because my understanding from what I understand from your colleague is that you do not require all directors to give a personal guarantee. You just require a company.
Yeah. So we're actually the whole RBF model is more forward-looking, using your future, your predicted your future receivables, right? So that is something that's very different from traditional type of financing.
I hear you. So of course, moving away from that itself, I am just kind of putting it across. I know that you mentioned e-commerce. You talk about that part of it. Maybe just 3 or 5 criteria. What are the 3 or 5 most important criteria when you decide whether to approve the financing or not? What could be some of the factors that comes in to influence you?
So okay, so obviously the brand or the business, right? It has to be digital, digital native, so that we can leverage on the data, so that because traditionally, if you go to a bank or go to a lender, private credit, you have to submit a lot of documents. They'll ask you for a list for DD. Give us your bank statement, give us your report, this and that, right? P&L, blah blah blah. But for us, if they're digital native, because our backend can plug into your sales data, which is Amazon, eBay, Shopify, Lazada, blah blah blah. We can pull it automatically, so we can see historical data and also track how much you're doing moving forward, right? You don't have to, you don't have to beg people for that. We just get it right automatically. And then obviously the payment data, because when you do buy and sell, you have to use payment gateway. So we work with regional payment gateway partners to plug in and get their data, the payment data. And obviously, Google Analytics, Google Ads, Facebook Ads, we can get all those data as well. And we work with Xero as well, and other accounting software, so that we can get all access to all this data. So the main criteria is actually that they have to be a digital native, so that we don't have to chase them, because human error is always there. But through all this platform, Amazon is unlikely going to lie about the data, right? And Xero, and because they're all credible companies as well. So we leverage on those platforms, we get their data, and that is one of the main criteria. Obviously, we do our own KYC, we run it through algo, we have our own credit risk engine. So we look at it more holistically as well.
Got it. And of course, beyond just approving a loan, you probably need to decide on your repayment rate and the time period of that. Is there a fixed formula that you're looking at, or is it really
not really. And first of all, sorry, we're not a loan per se.
Okay.
We're not alone. It's more of we consider ourselves more of a growth capital.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not a fix. It's really not like a fix program lending type.
Got
Yeah.
it. So it's basically very much an investment or capital given to you to grow, but of course there is a certain kind of criteria
Yeah.
for you to decide on things. But
Yeah.
what would be the most interesting case study that you have so far? Ever since starting Choco Up?
Interesting. I think most cases are pretty interesting because because we get to really see their growth, what they've been through, how they're doing, and what they have become. And it's like watching a child grow up, right? So whether they're selling hardware on their store or selling athleisure and getting acquired or selling bird's nests for the younger generation, so there are so many types of product, and each of them, they are quite different. I mean, as much as they're in the e-com space, but they're also quite different. And obviously, customer from Singapore will be a bit different from customer in Australia or in Malaysia, right? So each individual deal are actually quite unique on its own.
And I like the way you say that they are all children or kids of yours, because as a parent itself, you can never pick one that you love the most, right?
Yeah.
So that is definitely one area that you have on that front. Yeah, I know. I think definitely, on your website, I saw a couple of interesting cases that pops in, capital in different fronts, and those are great, kind of case studies or things to look into. But I'm just put on the flip side, a bit of not so nice side is, what if a company defaults? I'm quite sure that there are companies that, probably in this environment, especially faces some cash flow crunch issue, that they are not able to do the, kind of financing repayment in time. What happens?
I mean, that's a hypothetical question because so far our clients has been performing decently well. I can explain to you.
Congrats.
Yeah, I mean, we're okay as a credit business, right? You always have to account for provision or NPL and such, right? And our business model actually have provision within our own financials, right? However, the amount of financing that we provide to our clients, our customers, it's not a huge amount. That's number one. And number two, we get to walk with them along the same way. Like after we deploy the money, we actually keep track of their daily sales or their performance in a very tight-knitted way, to make sure that they grow together, right? So yeah, there might be some slower paying customers, but that encompasses only a very small percentage. And we're not out there to cripple a business when they don't do well. In fact, if they don't do well, we give support, we try to help them out, and we try to make them to bounce back and also to get back. So eventually, I mean, our business model, it's really the two parts, right? The funding part and the growth part. And if you do both part really, really well, the NPL part shouldn't be a problem at all.
And that's like what I always been hearing at this moment. That's a big emphasis on being a growth partner. You're here to help. You provide the data, you provide the support. You're here as a partner to them. It goes beyond the financing. And that essentially is a partnership you have with them as they growing. And that's where the joy that you have when you start seeing this company grow.
Yeah, it is.
So I guess, we probably have learned quite a little bit on different fronts on what value-based financing about. We've got a bit of an idea as to why all these things were started. Obviously, you're not taking side with any of your portfolio, or any of your clients, partners itself. So you want to treat everyone equally, but of course, give some insights on different fronts. But before we conclude the session, I'm just wondering, is there just one wise or a few wise words that you will give to everyone, especially people in the environment who's looking to grow and scale up, high growth company? What will you tell them, or what are some wise words you will leave them on?
Okay, so I mean, it's just straight from my personal experience, right? It might apply to some, might not apply to some. For me, it's really taking the first step, really trying, and I'm not gonna make every perfect or right move along the way. And if I can't make the right move or decision, I could help. I mean, Bart has been, I've been asking him for a lot of suggestion along the way, especially for partnership
nice.
side.
Nice.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's okay. You know, as much as I'm the co-founder, I ask a lot on the team to help me because they are the expert, not me. And don't be afraid to take the step to because if you don't take the first step, you never know where you're gonna go. And it's how quick you react to the mistakes you make. And it's okay to make mistakes, right? So yeah.
Indeed. And they always say the best business owners are the ones who hire better people than them to run the business.
No, definitely.
That's what it is.
I love my team. They got my back. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for the time. Thanks for doing a sharing with us. Give us a bit more insights into your line of life and what exactly you're doing on your end as well. But if any one of you are looking for a growth partner on any front, this Percy and the team at Choco Up, feel free to reach out to them. All right. Sounds good. All right, Percy. Thank you then.
Thank you, Sam. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. All right. See you back in Singapore.
Yeah. See you back in Singapore.
All right.